Ciao ragazzi, this is Katie Portanova, and you're listening to Florence and Me. I'm a lover of stories and all things Italian, and I'm going to bring you all that in this podcast. My intention is to inspire you to step out of your comfort zone and explore life and travel the world. Join me as I tell you my story and many others about Italy and my love, Florence. Andiamo! Ciao a tutti. I am back from yet another trip to Italy. Not a happy one, but a spiritual one. If you don't follow me on any sort of other channel, I've been absent for almost 3 weeks because sadly my father-in-law has passed. And he passed in the most painful way, from what I heard. So all I can say is that both of us, Stefano and I, are happy that he is without pain. And he's no longer suffering in his body. I have been trying to figure out what I wanted to say about him on the podcast. I've written a blog post and wrote a few other things on the channels. And I feel like a lot of you, at least how many people have been listening to me in the past year, seemed to be invested in my life. So I wanted to just, be honest and authentic and share with you my journey back to Italy and experiencing a ritual that I've experienced a few times in the States, but never in Italy. So my father-in-law passed the morning we arrived on the 21st of January. And it was meant to be. He knew we were coming and he was ready to go. And I love that. I think we should all be happy when somebody decides to leave this earth from their human form and go back to their spirit form. And not that my father-in-law was spiritual, at least that I know of. He was very private man. But I think when I was there, I felt like I felt him, if that resonates with anybody. There is this light that comes on when you pass this corridor to go back to where the bathroom is and the laundry room is in my mother-in-law's house. And it randomly would go on, like right before dinner and stuff like that when we were there. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Alme. He's coming from the bathroom, as he always would. Now, my mother-in-law's told me at the end of our trip that light would always come on. So it wasn't a coincidence that, Alme's gone, and so we're seeing these things happen. And I'm very spiritual, and I feel things, and I hear things, and I see things, and I believe it was him. But I let my mother-in-law say, no, Kate, it comes out all the time. I'm like, okay. The one thing that I remember, and I will always remember, is the last day we were there, because our flight was canceled. So we ended up taking a long walk, the three of us. And It was a beautiful day. It's like 55, 60 almost. It seemed like we took off our coats. Like, I've lived in Italy, and you guys know this. I've never experienced a January as beautiful as that January. Global warming or not, it was beautiful. Global warming, I believe. But we were walking and talking, and Ferdi was my mother-in-law. Her name is Fernanda. We call her Ferdi. She was recounting and like reminiscing about the times when they first moved to that area in Tuscany, and when they would take these long walks together to explore the area, explore the land, and when my father-in-law liked to move, because towards the end of his life, he never really liked to take walks. So it was just funny because there were certain points that there were bees. There's a bee around me. And it was just buzzing around me, and I'm like, what the hell is a bee doing here? It's January. And then immediately I was answered. It was answered as like, no, it's Alme. And I said to Stefano, I'm like, oh my God, your dad is finally on a walk with us. And he doesn't have to walk. He's flying. And that bee came back one other time on this walk. And I forget what we were talking about, but I know it was about him. And he just showed up, buzzed around my head a little bit, buzzed around me, and then went away. And that was kind of like what Alme was. I remember at our engagement party, he literally didn't sit down. He did not sit down. He walked to every table, talked to everybody. Of course, he was drinking, which that makes everybody more social, but he was always moving and always flowing and always going from one place to another, talking. And I have still pictures of him telling a story and my friends laughing out loud. Like, he was like the flow of life. Like, he liked to move. He was always walking. He was always moving. And Stefano's the same. Stefano, if he's on the phone, he's constantly pacing, which sometimes I hate, because sometimes I want to hear who's on the phone, because he was talking to his dad, and now he's talking to Ferdi, and we're talking to Ferdi, and I'm like, please sit down so I can hear, because he's moving away with the phone. So yeah, so that was very special on our trip. I also had a lot of beautiful connections with my friends that I've known for many, many years. I've talked about my friend Simone, and he was very, very amazing this past trip. As much as it was difficult for Stefano, I mean, he understood. If you guys remember, if you listened back last year, his mom suddenly passed in July, a couple days before we arrived to see his dad. And so he knew how hard it was. Even though, Stefano already knew how hard it was because he lost his mom 23 years ago. So, but yeah, it was good to connect with these friends that, again, I don't talk to every single day. And it just proves the point that friendships, ones that have deep roots and deep feelings, you always kind of come back to where you left off. I have a few people like that, mostly friends that I met in Italy. My friend Laura, she was available as well to me. We talked a few times on the phone, and because of COVID, I couldn't really see her. So because of her kids being exposed to COVID and stuff like that. So that was okay. But just the simple fact of being, of knowing that somebody is by your side. Right? Because I feel these days, this life, this society has made us to be addicted to the ghost-like friendships that we have through all the social channels. Like when I left teaching at the gym in my hometown, I have literally not talked to anybody from that gym. Not that I'm like, I don't want to talk to them, but the commonality, the common denominator of working at that gym is gone. So I don't see them. And I guess this whole thing of friendship is coming up because I was just listening to Glennon Doyle's episode on friendship and how it's hard for us sometimes to let go of friendships that are completely natural. Like we have nothing, there's no ill will, there's nothing. It's just like things just kind of fall slowly out of place. And like slowly, we have nothing in common anymore. We don't work at the gym. I don't have kids. I go to your schools, like, so like I don't have anything in common with you anymore. And life is short. So it's hard for us to accept the fact that, okay, these people are my friends. If I see them, I'll say hi to them, but I don't talk to them all the time. And that's okay. So the 2 weeks I was gone, it was hard because I never witnessed an Italian funeral. And from what I gather from being part of a American funeral and wake, I feel like the Italian funeral is a lot more spiritual and a lot more like a warm hug. And because I got a lot of those. There's a lot of people that showed up for Stefano and his family. And I'm happy that I was able to be by his side. And Stefano had 2 friends from high school that he has not seen in I don't know how many years. Show up. And be present. Of all the horrible things going on in the world, these are the moments that I'm so happy that I have with people. There's not a lot of people right now that like to just be and be present. There's a lot of people that are angry, that are aggressive, that are hurtful, judgmental, prejudiced towards others. And I wonder to myself, as I was hearing people very angry today at my job about things they have no control over, but they were so angry and they were so judgmental and they were so full of rage that I had to tell my client, I cannot put you into meditation right now because this anger in the other room, like, I can't handle. It's not going to help me help you be present. And she laughed and stuff, but I'm like, honestly, I think we need to wait, like, because there's a lot of anger in the room next door, and I feel that. I know it's not towards me, but I feel it. And what do I do when it comes to anger, when there's a lot of anger and rage and just really negative energy? Like, I need to get out. Because even though I don't think it's about me, I make it about me. And it weighs on me. So I have to leave. So immediately when I left work, I was like, got outside because it's incredibly crazy weather. It's like 40 degrees out in Chicago in January. Oh, in February. I keep thinking it's January. Anyway, so basically, I'm just happy that the people, the family members, all the family members that I met and I hugged and I had a moment with, I had a Stan's funeral, like, I thank you. I thank you for not shaming me because I'm crying in public. Because I was told not to always stop crying when I was little. So I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Anyway, moving on. So that was my 2 weeks. 2 weeks back in Italy, an unfortunate trip, but a trip that had to happen. What I want to talk about now is something more exciting and happy. So I think I've decided that my next retreats in the upcoming years are going to be always in September. September. Why September, Katie? Well, September is the vendemmia, is when they harvest the grapes. And I had the most amazing time, as you guys know, because I couldn't stop talking about it, last September with Chelsea and Wonderful Retreats, that I think that time of year is perfect because it's still warm, it's less crowded, and it's gorgeous weather. It's gorgeous. And yeah, so this fall, this September, I am waiting to hear. I'm almost 85% sure that I'm going to do one in Castel Fiorentino, where my mother-in-law lives, exactly 2 seconds away from her. And this beautiful villa with 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a kitchen, a pool, and an amazing countryside to explore. I have it on, it's not on my website. You're probably saying, I never saw my website. Yeah, it's on my website because I'm still waiting until I make it really public, because I have 2 couples that are interested. And before I make it public, I want to make sure that they're on board. So, and I believe they are. So yeah, and I'm thinking in the upcoming years, I have another type of villa. It's called a B&B that I've been researching, and I have a connection with her. She's friends with my friend, and it's a beautiful house outside of Florence, about 30 minutes, called Impruneta. And I really want to go see it. This place actually has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. Everybody has their own bathroom, a kitchen, a pool. So there's just a lot going on at Truly Italy, and I'm trying to really narrow down exactly what is going to be happening. So my heart is saying that September is going to be my wine trips. Yes. Wine tastings galore. Um, I've had a few of my ex kind of, I don't want to call them ex-clients because they never went on a retreat with me, but they have been following me for a long time when I was teaching at the other gyms and stuff. And they always wondered, or at least one person has asked me, like, I noticed you've changed everything up. Like, what about yoga? What about meditation? I'm like, I've never cut that part out of the retreat. It's just not the main focus. And I feel like this is deja vu. I think I've already said this. I've already said this out loud. So just so you know that there is always going to be yoga and meditation as an option. And the other thing, which I hope you sign up for, is my virtual wine tasting with one of my favorite vineyards, Monteferrale, in Chianti in May 15th. The sooner you sign up, the sooner you will get your wine delivered to you. 3 bottles of wine, and then I will send you a email with 3 recipes that will go with each wine that you can make the week before, or get the ingredients for the week before. And yeah, so go to my, if you're interested, you can email me at trulyitalytours@gmail.com, or if you go over to one of my channels and look up virtual wine tasting. I think the link is on my Facebook mostly. I don't know. Oh, it might be on my Instagram if you go on my Instagram, but I'm not sure. Pretty sure. If you go to my bio. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many really cool things that I can't wait to document everything I do this summer, because June is happening. I have closed off the rest of the applications for it because I didn't get any. So, but it's okay. I have 2 amazing people that are joining me and Stefano this summer for a week in Cetona in Camposevoli, and I can't wait to show you guys the journey we're going to take. I'm just as excited as they are, because it's their first trip to Italy, and yeah, and it doesn't have to be your first trip to Italy. These retreats aren't for people that have never been. These retreats are to be immersive and very personable, purposeful, educational. So if you're interested, please, please, please go to my website, trulyitaly.tours. Keep listening here. I'm planning another podcast on an episode on one of my other vineyards that I visited I keep saying April. What am I saying? April. I visited in September with Chelsea, is the vineyard right down the street from Monteferrale, Altiero. I visited there with Chelsea and met amazing Paolo and his family, his dad. Like, it was amazing. So, yeah, my doorbell just rang. I know, but I'm not answering it because I'm talking to you. So, I'll leave you with this. Hold on 1 second here. So the doorbell was a beautiful bouquet of flowers from my husband's job about the loss of his dad. So I'll leave you with this. There are still kind people in this world. There are still just amazing people in this world. And when we focus on that, and the presence of somebody around you and the presence of the ones you love and just being present and being grateful for this life and being your authentic self. Good things come. Thank you for listening. As you already know, I always get emotional, so I can't help it. I don't want to help it. And there's one thing that sticks out for me now is a quote by Patrice Gordon that says, "What's meant for me won't miss me." So I know everything that is meant for me and for what I'm going to create with Truly Italy and for the house we're going to buy in Tuscany sooner rather than later is not going to miss me. And the people around me aren't going to miss me because they could always come at the right time. I don't know if that really made sense. But I think you get the gist. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Be ready for my next episode. I'll be talking about wine and this amazing vineyard in Chianti. A presto. Ciao e grazie. I am beyond grateful for you listening to my podcast right now. I am so excited to share my journey of living abroad and all my stories of Florence and Italy and all the places in between that I've visited. If this has reached you in any way and you would like to continue, please subscribe now. Also go check out my website, trulyitaly.tours, for all my travel experiences. Ci si vede. Ciao.